Okay, so I've added in my final details. So I'm feeling pretty happy with where the model is at here. So I feel like now we can we can figure out our lighting a little bit more. So I'm not sure, and just our scene in general, actually. Like, I feel like we need to start doing these final decisions. So we need to put it somewhere. So let's do the same thing as before, and we'll come down here. Shift S, cursor to selected, and then Shift A, let's make a plane. And it'll just do this if there's like overlapping meshes. So that just needs to move down a little bit because it was perfectly aligned. Oh, sorry, I've got my snapping on. So it was perfectly aligned, so that can just move down like that. So our camera is like here. So let's get that about here. And then let's grab these two edges along here, and we'll go E and Z. We'll make those long, and then let's grab these two edges here, and we'll go Control B, and then we'll add a bunch of loop cuts here. Probably about there is good, and then we'll right click and shade smooth on that one. It's looking pretty good. And then what happens if we turn on rendered view? Okay, cute. So now we can start sorting out our lighting a little bit more. To be honest, I feel like it's looking pretty decent. Let's just get rid of these lines there. They're annoying me. Where are we? In here, we can go floor, turn that off. And then you can turn off any of these if you don't want them so that you can see things a bit clearer. We'll also turn off... I want to turn off... Yeah, look, I reckon that's probably going to be enough. Yeah, okay, that's fine. And then what I'm also going to do is we're going to go to camera, and we're going to go to... where is it? Viewport display, and parser out, we're going to go up to 1, just so that it blacks out everything that's not in there. And that just makes life a little bit easier. Okay, so now let's sort out our lighting. I feel like it's pretty cute on a white background, but it also might be nice on like a very slightly pink background. I feel like I could see that that might be nice. Oh yeah, that's quite cute. Okay, let's also set up our camera. So we're gonna go... I love to always have depth of field on. I just feel like it always makes renders look nicer. So we can turn that f-stop down, and let's just grab our froggy. So then, yeah, even that, it's like, wait, like it's so cute. But as you can see, I don't like how that's 666. I'm not religious, but that freaks me out a little bit. Let's turn this up a little bit to maybe like 0.5. It's so cute. I feel like these need a little bit more, actually. I think we need more of these. Where's my snap? Yeah, I prefer that. I'm not sure where, that's definitely where we'll finish it. But our scene's looking pretty bright and nice here. I feel like this is why I love that HDRI. It's just always great. And then do we have Node Wrangler? No, we don't. Okay, so let's go into preferences and let's go add-ons. And is Node Wrangler in here? Yes. We'll turn that on. And then here we can go Control T. And then we can rotate our HDRI. So you can see how much that's... Yo, wait, why does this look so good? You can see how much that's changed what our scene looks like, because we've had the same setting on the entire time. But you can see how much more contrast that brings in. I feel like that's actually really banger. I'm like, hold on a minute. Like, this looks good. I love that feeling at the end of a render where you're like surprised it looks good. Okay, but this area here is really dark. Not a fan of that. So let's figure it out. Now let's, gosh, I'm so scared of my computer crashing. So let's go with a new window. But at this point, we do really need to have our render view on, because otherwise we can't see what we're doing. So let's add in a camera here. So I've just, sorry, done that really fast. I've shift and right clicked, shift A, and then let's grab a light. We're going to grab an area one. We're going to scale that up quite a bit. Don't know if that's snapping. It's just snapping off. Okay, cool. And then we just need to like up the power a lot on this one. Gosh, this is always like this. And you can see that's super bright now. Oh, and it's also pointing the wrong way. Rotate 180. And we just kind of want it like towards the back, just to like keep that back area really bright. Okay, so now we can take this down a notch. We can get rid of a 0 there. Yeah, and that's a lot nicer. Let's see. So that's without it and that's with it. I feel like that's pretty nice. Look, I actually feel pretty happy with that lighting setup as it is. Yeah, I would totally suggest mucking around with other things. You can even try different HDRIs. So if you have other things, like maybe you want to try a studio. So if I go EXR, this is in my downloads folder. I've got like a small studio. So it's like we could also try that and see how much that changes things. So that's obviously, so that's at 102, which is where I want to keep it. But you can rotate that and see what that might look like. So I feel like that's also a pretty nice outcome there. With kind of, I really like these shadows being cast on here. I feel like that's pretty nice. I almost want to keep it actually. Not too much shadow. See, I love that casting the shadow. You know what? Actually, I think we're going to keep it. I think we're going to keep it there. Yeah, I feel like that is pretty cute. So that's how I would set up that lighting. Really basic. I love a good HDRI. It makes life really easy. But it's also worth learning how to use, how to set up good lighting. And there are other videos you can watch for that I don't have yet. I just really do it depending on the project. I did a poll for this on my Instagram. So follow me there if you want to be included in this kind of stuff. You can, I thought that, so this is a good time to also come back to your reference images and see if there's anything in there that you want to add as a detail. Like, I feel like that's what makes this original cake by Cutie Cinderella so great, is that she's put in so much detail. Like, if you really look at this cake, you can see she's also got this ribbony pattern going through the middle. I decided not to do that because I wanted to use the roses instead. But you could try and work out how to do that. I feel like I'm not entirely sure how I'd approach that. But you could definitely make an array for that and a curve and figure that out. But she's got all these tiny little flowers that she's added in. She's added in little like lily pads. That could be something to add in as well. If you want to model up some Sylvanians, be my guest. Yeah, she's got a lot of flowers and different kinds of flowers sticking out across the place and like pushed in. And then, yeah, this was the inspo for these little 3 dots here, was also that she had that on her cake. But yeah, you can start to go in and see that a lot of these cakes have these extra little details. And, you know, how can you apply that into yours? I love these little flowers. I think that if anybody wants to give that a go, I'd say that that'd be a really good thing to add. I think this is an AI generated cake, but it was on Pinterest. But it's giving, it's really giving AI generated. I mean, it might not be, but I did take the inspo for the plate from this. No, this is definitely AI. Oh. You know, it always freaks me out a little bit when I can't tell if something's AI generated or not. But these little flowers are super cute as well. Yeah, I kind of got the inspo from the mushrooms from this one, but yeah, this is a good time. But anyway, we have 2 different colorways here. So I've really taken this colorway, so these creams and these pinks, but you can also take this green one and this green one here. So you can give those a go. So like I'm going to save this one, and I'm going to call it the pink version. So save as pink, and then we'll save a new one and we'll call it green. And then you can like try different things here. So we can like take this down and like make this really dark. Like that needs to be even darker than that. Maybe like here. And then this should be like a lighter sort of greeny color. Here, maybe a little bit darker. And you can see how that changes the color of the water as well. So then maybe this can also go like a lot like darker there. And then you've got your mushroom tops here. That's our mushroom stalk. So should really keep that like white. But we need, where's our mushroom? Where's our mushroom top? There we go. And then it's like, you know, this can go maybe even like a yellow here. And then, yeah, you have like a really different look straight away. I feel like it even looks slightly weird now that these are so pink. But yeah, like there are different options that you can do as well. If we come back, you know, we really haven't named anything. We haven't really named anything very well here. Oops. Yeah, I feel like if that's probably something that I should probably mention in the intro, hey. But we did name our grass particle, which makes life easier. So you can also pull this into a different color. Like this can probably go pretty dark as well. Like you can definitely have like a kind of more like spooky aura for your cake if you choose different colorways. But yeah, that's also for you to try and do different colorways and see what ends up working for you. Let's also render this out. I feel like I shouldn't leave you without doing the final export. So I think the max samples will be fine. Ooh, let's just go about 500 just because we have that reflective material there. So let's set that to 500. And then if you can handle it, I do really like to turn this up on my final render to 200%, just because it will get rid, especially when you're animating, it gets rid of any like noise that you might have coming up. And if you don't have Photoshop, you can also go into your, I think it's in the render settings, and you can start mucking around with the color management. So we can do like, you can change these around like super high contrast, and just also putting that exposure up a little bit, because I feel like sometimes in Blender, when you export it, I'm always turning up the contrast. Sorry, I'm always turning up the exposure, because otherwise it just doesn't look, it never looks good in the final export. So if you don't have Photoshop and you're not going to be doing any more edits after, I would really recommend mucking around with these options. Filmic gives you that really, so what were we on before? We were on AGX, but yeah, you can see how Filmic really makes those colors super saturated. So I feel like medium high contrast. Yeah, I feel like that's looking pretty good. So like sometimes I would just keep this the same, because I like to edit it in Photoshop. But let's just go there and see what happens. So I'm going to save, and then I'm going to hit render image. Okay, and this is our render coming out of Blender. So let's go save as, and then we'll go cake 1. And then this is for if you have Photoshop. I like to go in and just like edit things a little bit and make sure that things are kind of looking how I want them to look. But Photoshop is a really expensive tool. So I don't, you know, even for students, it's really expensive, which I think is a shame. But there are other options for photo editing. But, you know, if we're going through the whole shebang, there she is. Honestly, it looks pretty good coming straight out of Blender. which is really nice. I feel like yeah, it might be worth like turning the whatchamacallit up slightly just so that this bit is in focus. But I do really like the froggy being in focus and this going slightly out of focus at the back, kind of really having the focus on this area here, I think is really nice. But yeah, oh, I think I want this to be higher. Oh, where am I? I feel like this, oh, it doesn't even have material applied to it. Let's turn the roughness down totally on that one. I think that will look a little bit cuter. But overall, there's not even much that I would change. I feel like this is kind of ready to go. Like, you know, yeah, actually, I think that's it. I don't even think I need to say this. You know, let's just cut this bit. This doesn't matter. Just cut it. Well, that brings us to the end of this tutorial. Congratulations for making it all the way through. I hope that you learned something new and that you have a cute cake that you can share and feel proud of. I hope that you added extra things to it to really make it yours. Or if you didn't, you know, it doesn't really matter. I hope you still learned something anyway. I'm active on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you know, the whole lot. So if you want to follow me on Instagram and share this with me, like I said in the intro, I will upload it to my story and put you in my highlights. If you have any questions, anything that didn't work, feel free to reach out. And if you want to download this final project file, it's on Gumroad for a few dollars. So that's also an option. Like, subscribe. What do they say? Smash that like button. Hit subscribe, you know, the whole thing. I'm hoping to release some more like vlogish style content. I don't know, but then again, I just feel like my life is really messy. I don't really know if people want to see that, but people seem to want to see the tutorials. So there will be more tutorials that are cute and girly pop. So stick around for those. Anyway, thank you so much for watching.